Well, President Trump attacking Robert Mueller's investigation this morning as biased and unfounded. We told you we'd tell you about any new tweets. Well, one just came in. Here it is. I hereby demand, and will do so officially tomorrow, that the Department of Justice look into whether or not the FBI, DOJ infiltrated or surveilled the Trump campaign for political purposes, and if any such demands or requests were made by people within the Obama administration. He talks about it every day on the radio in Indianapolis. Here to talk about it now with us here, Tony Katz. And you have your phone up. I'm guessing you are reading along with the rest of the world on this tweet. Here's the question. Let's put aside for the fact of how the president orders this or not. You think they'll find anything?
What, if what the president's talking about right here? I mean, I am. I'm looking at my phone because you don't know what's going to come out next. It's absolutely incredible. I have no idea if they're going to find anything, and I'm not one of the people who gets totally hyped up if he tweets it. What the president says and what he does are often different things. That's not being rude towards the president. That happens to be factual. Let's see what happens tomorrow. Let's see what kind of investigation could come out. I think some of the previous tweets are rather interesting, but when he says he wants to know if there was infiltration or surveillance of the Trump campaign for political purposes, wouldn't we all want to know that? There seems to be some indication that that took place.
Interestingly enough, there's a soundbite making the Twitter rounds this morning from President Obama back when he was interviewed by Chris Wallace, in which he said, in his words, full stop, there was no political targeting by the FBI or DOJ. That's a pretty conclusive statement on his part. Is there any evidence on the other side, you think?
Well, I think that when people take that apart and parse it, and you hear the Democratic Party on Monday, they'll say it's a difference between Laurel or Yanny. Right? It's all in a question of how you heard it.
That brings up an important question. Has politics in general now become a Laurel and Yanny moment?
Well, yeah, I mean, people hear what they want to hear, but that doesn't mean that the truth didn't get said. That doesn't mean that there isn't a truth. You take a look at some of that reporting from the New York Times, and then take a look at Molly Hemingway's piece in The Federalist, breaking down the 10 reasons why the New York Times, in talking about all the investigation, is total bunk. There are people who hear what they want to hear. Did President Trump insult immigrants? Absolutely not. He was talking about MS-13 and called them animals, which they are. You almost think you're getting punked. I have a whole piece on it at WIBC.com. People do hear what they want to hear. It doesn't mean that the truth isn't being told. It's just honest people recognize it, and dishonest people, well, they tell you Yanny.
Okay, I'm going to start calling you Laurel now in our segments on air. You talk about truth. One thing that does not lie is economics. This is something you brought up a month ago, which is the cost of oil and by that the cost of gas prices. AP flash just now crossing average gallon of gas in the United States, $3. When does the conversation shift from Russia, DOJ, FBI, political targeting, back to these real economic issues of $3 gas, rising inflation, et cetera?
Well, I think economic issues are still going on, especially when you have Nancy Pelosi still talking about crumbs, and they're trying to shut her up. She's trying to walk it back, and it's not working. But I did tweet about it, and I think a lot of people have noticed oil prices are getting too high, and it's going to cause a problem. The White House should be on top of it. We cracked $80 the other day. Is this Iran and OPEC saying, you know what, you pull out of the agreement, this is how we punish you? If America's going to be in on that fight, I'm okay with it, but I want to hear from the White House very strongly about what our plan is to ensure some lower gas prices.
And you got to wonder how much political capital the White House is willing to use with the Saudis and the Emiratis and others to force a little bit more production and these prices back down. Tony Katz, good to see you from Indianapolis. As always, we'll talk on Friday, buddy.
All right, I'm checking the tweets.
Yeah, well, check every second for sure.